Fargo may not be able to survive this one. I know some people have been talking about closing their accounts with different banks, but listen, it's really hard to dodge something like this. Let me go ahead and show you all what is going on with Wells Fargo. And essentially, we're going to wrap and go into what you can do about it. All right, let's get right into it.
A Florida businessman is the latest victim of a bank account takeover. Investigators say thieves were checking to see if his account was active before cleaning it out.
News 6 investigator Mike Holfeld spoke with the man who lost about $150,000.
I immediately filed a fraudulent claim, thinking, okay, it'll be taken care of.
Robert Bronig is a victim of what federal investigators call a bank account takeover. Look. His business checking account shows a random string of deposits, all under $1, each withdrawn the same day.
If I was on the purchasing end of this, I would want real-time information.
Assistant Special Agent in Charge Jamie Krakowski tells News 6, in theory, someone was in the market for stolen bank accounts.
Yep.
And in this case, it looks like Robert Bronig's account was for sale.
As fast as money comes in, it goes out.
The small withdrawals suggest a test, and then the bombshell. A flurry of big cash withdrawals siphoning just under $150,000.
Wow.
Who authorized the transfer? Who did this?
Nobody can answer that. That's the questions that I keep asking Wells Fargo.
Wells Fargo's response was a denial to refund the money transferred business to business because he needed to notify them no later than the second business day after that transaction.
Horrible.
That means a little over $124,000 may never be returned.
That's a lot of money, but that's not what's eating me apart. It's eating me apart that you can't trust the banks with your own money anymore. What do you do?
Message: check your accounts daily. Mike Holfeld, Getting Results, News 6.
Listen, guys, as we know, this is not the first time that this has actually happened. So a lot of people have been dealing with this, as the time goes on. But here's the deal. It has to make sense for someone. Now, check this out. If you guys notice, this is different than the other things, the other types of scams and frauds that's happening out here. They don't need to send you a text message. They don't need to call you. They don't need to do a lot of those additional things that they were doing for, like with Chase Bank and Bank of America. They literally made some deposits and they literally took over the account once they saw that. OK, so something to keep in mind for sure. All right. So again, guys, if you haven't already done so, just so you know, we can help you improve your credit score, qualify for home ownership, or lower your car payment, just like we help these people. Go ahead and scan that QR code if you want to learn more about it. OK, now here are some of the takeaways from the video. OK, so again, now Florida businessman, his name is Robert. He was a victim of the account takeover. They made small deposits into the account. Now, small deposits, we've done small deposits before. Many of you guys have done small deposits before on, if you have like if you're trying to get like an account verification, or if they need to, confirm that the bank draft or that the actual bank account is like you actually own it. OK, so this is not something uncommon. OK, but of course, he didn't think about it because it's 20 cents. I'll take you guys back to that video in a second. But as you guys can see, it was like 19 cents, 23 cents. And they literally, once they saw that they could put the money in and take the money out, they took out $150,000. So I'm telling you something, they're not just going after people with personal accounts. He had a business account with Wells Fargo. OK, now investigators believe that the thieves were checking to see if the account was active before making a larger withdrawal. So again, they don't need you to respond to a text message. They don't need you to answer the phone, at least not at Wells Fargo. OK, now he immediately reported the fraudulent activity to Wells Fargo. But of course, the bank denied his claim because he did not notify them within 2 business days. Guys, who's checking this stuff within 2 business days, right? So this is crazy. So either way, he got upset that he could not trust the banks with his money anymore. Let me know inside the comments if you guys feel like it's difficult to trust these banks after these things have happened and back to back to back. Let me know if you've had any issues with Wells Fargo recently or something similar at another bank. OK, and so again, you got to check your account daily if you guys want to be on top of this stuff. Okay. Also, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. But I want to actually go into another piece here, guys. I want to get your thoughts on this. I know you guys are going crazy in the chat right now, but give me 1 second. I want to show you guys one last piece here because a lot of people actually wanted to figure out the same thing. They said, okay, listen, and this has been going on for quite some time. Okay, this actually happened. There's another case of this happening about 7 months ago, and I'm going to show you guys how this ended up happening. So they call it bank account takeover. Okay, so again, here it is right here. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can actually see this as well. Okay, let me make sure you guys can actually see this. Okay. And it says right here, shame on Wells Fargo for letting bank account takeover happen, especially when they didn't. It wasn't like the other situations, like where people, they did something on their end, and then the bank said, "Hey, we saw what you did. You gave access." And I'm not saying that that's right by any measure, but usually they would use that as the reason to blame someone. This is clearly no way of stopping this type of fraud. There's clearly no way of stopping this type of scam unless you take your money out. Now, I'm not saying that that's what you should do, but they have to let us know this. The fact that we have to hear this from the news and not the banks themselves is really difficult to essentially trust these financial institutions. And so Wells Fargo and Bank of America are jokes, have been for a long time. Another person says it's an inside job. Don't worry, guys. I actually got a video coming up on some inside jobs, not stuff that's happened 20 years ago, but stuff that just happened like last month or the last 3 months. You guys will be surprised based on the research I found. So I'll keep you guys posted on that as well. Listen, someone says, whoa, this just made me log in to check my $27 in my account. Safe to say it's still there, but seriously, what happened to him is awful. Someone says, I wonder if Wells Fargo on some of their employees in some new style of bank heist. Okay. Someone says, guess our grandparents had the right idea. Hide your money under the mattress. Let me know what you guys think about that. Are you guys still leaving a certain amount of money, or is there a certain percentage that you guys recommend that we should have at home? You can't leave everything at the house. I know many of you guys have said, make sure that your money is in different places. Okay. And we'll get to our comments in a second, but I know some of you all like to keep a certain amount of money at home. Is there a certain percentage, or do you just like to keep just a set amount at home just in case something does happen to all of these banks? Another person says we shouldn't have to check our account every day. This is why we have the safety of the bank, which failed. And then, of course, we'll leave on this last one. Worst bank in history and getting worse every day. All right. So let's go ahead and go into the next piece here. And then that way we can go ahead and then go into the comments here for this particular situation. OK, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this up here and let me know if you guys can see this. OK. All right. So now here's the deal. All right. So someone says, I worked at Wells Fargo. For 6 years, 2017 through 2023. They are criminals. Okay. They are criminals. All right. So we most definitely going to see. Let me know if you guys know of anyone that has worked inside of that, because it's difficult. Like, where is it safe to put our money now? Like, where do you guys feel honestly comfortable outside of your home? Like, now, don't get me wrong. This stuff can happen, but it's almost like we have to, like, again, when you wake up in the morning, you got to check it. You just have to check it on a daily basis now. Okay. They're not just going after companies. They are going after individuals. Okay. So SMS Sparky says, I don't trust these banks at all. I don't have Wells Fargo, but I've had Bank of America and US Bank, and they are crooks. All right. They are crooks. Listen, a lot of stuff we've seen lately from Bank of America. So that's most definitely spot on. All right. Elizabeth said they should have flagged the account and alerted the client. That's the least that they could have done. That's the let me tell you something. If they won't tell this guy that $150,000 has been taken from his account, they're not going to tell you if you have $20 in your account, if it's gone. They won't tell you if you got $2,000. They won't even tell you if you have $20,000 in the account and it is gone. Mind you, these are wire transfers. You need a signature for this stuff. Okay. It's like listen, we could go on and on about this. But it's most definitely ridiculous. So SMS Sparky says, where should we put our money? That's a great question. Now, listen, I know some of us have a portion of our money, obviously, inside of our homes. I do recommend you do have some money inside of your home. My wife was adamant about that for us, for sure, because, again, not just with no talks of the war and talk this or scams with the bank, you got to have some cash, at home for sure. You never know what may happen. You guys saw what happened to these dealerships. I would have told you about that, but I don't know if you guys would have been interested. But they essentially, there's a huge software platform that a lot of dealerships use nationwide, and it literally had them, a lot of banks, a lot of dealerships shut down for a long time. They had to do things manually. What I'm talking about is they have to change how they run credit. It changes the inventory. So there's a lot of stuff that they really rely on, but they hacked into that platform, and they're holding software for ransom. They're holding people's software for ransom. Millions of dollars they wanted. They didn't want to pay. And of course, it's still up in limbo to this day. So it's very hard to kind of say where we end up having it. All right. So next, R. Lake says, I hold 20% in crypto. All right. What do you guys think about that? Not necessarily crypto itself, but what do you guys think about putting your money it may not necessarily be, of course, like an investment account or something like that. Right. How do you guys feel about, the high yield savings accounts? We don't hear too much about those. Right. Because that's money sitting. That is money sitting. So let me know your thoughts about that as well. Brown Foxy says, since our accounts have been going overseas to foreign workers, we've been having this issue. Listen, that's not 100% false. No, a lot of stuff has been now transferred over for overseas, for people that's working overseas, workers and things of that sort. Right. And I get it. They want to save money, but sometimes these people leave unhappy, just like they do in America. Right. But a lot of times no one's watching everyone. No one is watching everyone. Right. And so this is where a lot of this stuff does take place. A lot of stuff happens in a lot of different places, but a lot of scams are most definitely happening overseas. So keep your eyes on that as well. Deborah says, just put your money in a shoebox. OK, put your money in a shoebox. She said, keep it simple. She's and then you listen, because it's getting out of control. OK, it's most definitely getting out of control. Elizabeth says, I just bought a used car and I couldn't get my plate because of the dealership ransom. Sorry to hear about that, Elizabeth. That's for sure. Listen, this just happened too, guys. Like it was what plates, credit reports, vehicle history reports. A lot of stuff was not set up a certain way, guys. So a lot of people driving around here with temporary plates because of what happened. So let me tell you something. That is next level. That is huge. Do you know if they can now, don't get me wrong. This isn't like aviation or airlines and stuff like that, which I'm sure they can hack into as well too. They've hacked into hospitals. But when they start doing at first it was, let's see what information we can take. No, at first it was, let's make sure it doesn't work. Then it transitioned to what information can we take? Now it's going into, let's make sure that they can't use it and let's hold it for ransom. If that company can, if it can happen to CDK, it can happen for Microsoft. It can happen. Maybe not Microsoft because they actually hire people to keep away the hackers, right? But a lot of people just have softwares in place. They're not fighting off hackers. Uber is not fighting off hackers. DoorDash isn't fighting off hackers, right? Now, granted, you could probably live without a DoorDash, but I don't know. Some people may not be able to live without Uber. You just move on to Lyft, right? But there are some softwares out there that we live on every single day, and it's just a matter of time before they may be held up for ransom as well. All right. Teller Arm says 20% is sitting in my E-Trade account as we speak. Shout out to Teller. OK, so listen, and some of you all don't have enough in your brokerage accounts. You have to most definitely take advantage of your listen. We got to start going into retirement. Listen, many of you all have been watching this channel since we started back in 2015. I think that's the first video. I got to look back at the date for the first video. But guys, we're getting older. That was like 8-9 years ago. Okay. So I started this channel when I was in my 20s. Now I'm in my 30s. My point is we got to start at some point. We're going to have to start having some conversations about retirement, like really, really retirement. A lot of us don't have 401ks. A lot of us don't have pensions that are, lined up, right? So we got to start putting money away outside of the banks in general, just in investments accounts, things that I'm learning as well. I'm no guru with this stuff. I'm studying this stuff as well too, but I do think we need to start having conversations. So let me know in the comments if you guys want to get more information about retirement. I know it sounds like old, right? But we got, unless you want to keep working, for the rest of your life, then we need to be talking about this stuff, guys. So shout out to Teller for letting us know that as well. Elizabeth said, I paid the car off, so no lender would be financing, and best of all, no car payment. Shout out to you, Elizabeth. That's what's up. Okay, getting in and out, you ain't got to worry about no finance and no additional car note for sure. Brown Foxy says, I'm telling you, I noticed I called a get strange text messages and etc. Amazon issue. Yeah. They're most definitely sending out UPS, USPS, Amazon stuff. Listen, they getting the right. I won't say they getting the right people, but they're sending the right type of text messages that we would like. It looks legit. And if you guys are ordering stuff, like I know I had like at least for me, when I know I'm not going to get a message about certain things, but some people are getting those messages and they're most definitely falling for that as well too. So again, look for those messages as well. Brown Foxy says, buy a fire and waterproof security box. Most definitely, especially for important stuff like passports, that pistol. I know some of y'all got that heat somewhere. Okay. SMS Sparky says, I just need to pay my bills online. I want to get rid of the bank account, but credit card bills and others ask for a bank account. You're right about that. And you know what? I don't know if we're at the point where we're like, okay, we're completely done with banks. This is more so we know that it happens. And I think the best way to do it is we have to check, like, I don't know, but at least for me, I try to check every morning. But if you guys got multiple accounts, like, 5, 10, 15 accounts, you got to keep eyes on it. You most definitely got to keep eyes on it for sure and have an idea of what's going on, especially if you have like, just basic transactions, you're paying for bills, you have your vacation, you're going out, you get groceries, stuff like that. So you should have an eye on it in general. Teller says, I'm in tech and there's not enough cybersecurity people. Okay. She says, tell your kids to run to cybersecurity. That it's the new health crisis. I believe that. I most definitely believe that. Thanks for letting us know that as well too, Teller, is that they need to get into cybersecurity. So that seems to be one of the new waves going forward because it's fighting this stuff off. If you guys want to make sure that this does not happen to you, make sure you all spread this information, of course, but make sure that you all follow the steps from this video as well. And again, shout out to Elizabeth for making sure she got that car with no car note. That's what I'm talking about, man, because a lot of people are not in position to do that as well. All right. So now also too, guys, if you're looking to be a part of a credit community where you can accomplish your credit goals, you get access to my advanced credit blueprint, my weekly live Q&As. You can actually send me a direct DM, be a part of our home buyer challenge. We actually had one of our weekly live Q&As today. So, and I also have a one-on-one coming up here as well too. And listen, no matter what your situation is, we most definitely can help you as well. So I want to make sure you guys know that. We're going to be wrapping up here in a little bit. And of course, Hatella says no degree required. That's what's up. That is good. That's good information to know. No degree required. You can get a certificate in cybersecurity. So she says it's the new health crisis. Okay. Brown Foxy says, actually, I'm starting cybersecurity program next month. See, y'all already into this for real, because it's really us against them. Okay. It is the general public against the scammer community. And listen, we most definitely got to fight back. Otherwise, it's going to be crazy. Lonnie says, I second the cybersecurity statement. There are way too easy ways to skim your information out there. Okay. So again, thanks for letting us know that as well. Teller says, thanks for your info, 850. Absolutely, guys. I greatly appreciate that. Listen, I got to run. I hope this information was helpful. Brown Foxy says, she says, I'm almost 50. Okay. we greatly appreciate it. But listen, there's nothing wrong with extra income streams. Get that money wise out here, especially if things are most definitely, on the up and up. But we got to fight back and we got to do more. And we got to make sure we spread the word as well, too. All right. So we'll see you guys on the next video. Have a good one. And thanks again, everybody, for being here. Don't worry, Sledge. We're going to make sure you catch the next